Hey, this is our Chapter 2 review. We did the same thing in class today. So let's look at number 1. What is 1/4 written as a percent? And percents are out of 100, so we're going to make that denominator into 100. So 1/4, I'm going to multiply it by 25. And when I do that, I get 25 over 100. So my percent is 25%, which is letter B. Number 2, what is 22.5% written as a fraction in simplest form? First thing we need to do is get rid of the percent sign. So we're going to go 1, 2. So we now have 225 over 1,000. Now we are going to simplify. Okay, so we need to simplify it. I'm going to start with 25. 1,000 divided by 25 is 40. And 225 divided by 25 is 9. So our answer is H. If you can't think of 25 the first time, make sure you start with a 5. And you'll just have to go down again. Okay, what is 575% written as a mixed number? So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my percent over. So I'm going to go over. I have 5.75 now. So I have 5 whole, 75 over 100. And then I'm going to simplify by 25. And I get 5 3/4 as my answer, which is letter A. Number 4. This one should be a nice simple one for you. 2 times to the right, we get 39.9%, which is letter G. Number 5, we have 7 1/5, and we're going to write that as a percent. So I'm going to put my 7 off to the side. Now I have 1/5. To make 5 into 100, we're going to multiply by 20. So we have 20 over 100. And I'm just going to move my 20 on with that 7 over there. So 720%, which is letter D. Number 6. We have 86%, and we're going to make that into a decimal. Our decimal goes at the end. We go 1, 2. So we get 0.86, which is letter H. Number 7, 32% of 60. So I'm going to change my percent. I'm going to go 1, 2. I get 0.32, or 0.32, and we're going to multiply it by 60. We get zeros in the first row, and we get our magic 0. 6 times 2 is 12. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19. There's 1, 2 spots, 1, 2 spots, so our answer is 19.2, which is that right there. Number 9, we're going to find 340% of 35. So number 8, we need to change our 340% into a decimal. So I go 1, 2, and I have 3.4. Because we can drop that 0 at the end. And I'm going to multiply it by 35. 4 times 5 is 20. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Magic 0, 12, 9, 10. So 0, 9, 1, 1. If we're looking, we have 1 place value. So 1 here, we get 119, which is letter H. Okay, number 9. We're going to move it over 2 times. So I have 0.0015 times 43. 5 times 3 is 15. 3, 4. Got our magic 0. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 1 is 4. Then 5, 6. When I add this together, I get 645, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, so I have to add a 0 and a decimal. So our answer is letter D. Number 10. 20. We have 20% of 141. So we're going to go 1, 2. I'm going to put 141 on top times 0.2. So I have 2, 8, 2. There's one place value. So 28.2, which is letter H. Okay, number 11. Which fraction is less than 1/2? So a lot of you will be able to do this in your head. If you can't, then you need to find a common denominator. But when I'm looking, I know that half of 8 is 4. So 3 is less than 4, so A is our answer. Number 12. Which of the following orders 75%, 1/2, 0.375, and 5/8 from least to greatest? So what we need to do is we need to put these in order from least to greatest. Some of you may be able to do this in your head. If you can't, you need to change them all to one thing. I'm going to change them to decimals. So number 12, 75% changes into 0.75. 1/2 changes into 0.5. 0.375 stays the same. And 5/8. I'm going to take 5/8. I'm going to multiply it by 125 because when I do that, 8 times 125 is 1,000 on the bottom. And then on top, I get 125 times 5. I get 625, so 0.625. The smallest one is our 0.375 since it starts with a 3. So if we go up here, we can cross off this one and this one. The next one, so this is first place, 0.5, which is 1/2 is second place. So right now, both of those are the same right there. And then in third place, we got this one right here because it's a 6. And that one was 5/8. So our answer is letter I. Number 13, 6 1/4. We're going to write that as a decimal. So 1/4, I'm going to multiply that by 25. And when I multiply that by 25, I get 25 on top, 100 on the bottom. Remember, I had 6 whole, so 6.25 is my answer, and that is letter C. Some of you should have 1/4 memorized as a decimal, so if you don't need to show work on that one, that's fine. Okay, what is 0.9 written as a fraction in simplest terms? That 9 is in the 10th spot, so it is letter G, 9/10. Number 15, 16 is 20% of what number? So we're going to go 1, 2. So number 14, not 14, sorry, 15. We have 16 times 0.2. 6 times 2 is 12. 2, 3. There's one spot. Oh, sorry. I'm doing this backwards. So we need to set this up as percent proportions. So let's try this again. So we have 6. We know our percent is 20%, so that's 20 over 100. And we are changing that into 16, and we need to find that. We cannot change 20 to 16 in one step, so I'm going to simplify by 20. I'm going to get 1/5, and then 1 times 16 is 16, and 5 times 16 will get you 80, which is letter B. Number 16, a store is having a sale where school supplies are 30% off the original price. A backpack is on sale for $11.20. What was the original price of the backpack? Okay, we're going to take off 16 and 17, and we're going to go to 18. It says Fred completed 10 math problems. So he completed 10 math problems. That is 40% of the number of math problems he has to do. So he completed 40 out of 100, and he completed 10, and we're trying to figure out how many he needs to do. So from get to 40 to 10, we're going to divide by 4. So 100 divided by 4 is 25. So he needs to do 25 total. Okay, which is the best estimate of each percent? So what we're going to do is we're going to estimate these numbers to what works the best for you. Okay, so we have 25% of 395 we're estimating. Since this guy is pretty high, we're going to estimate to the per rate of 100. So that's going to change into 400. So I have 25% written as a fraction, so 25 over 100. We're trying to find this guy because we know that it's out of 400. To get from 100 to 400, we multiply by 4. If we multiply by 4 on the bottom, we're going to do the same thing on the top. 25 times 4 is 100. So our answer is letter B. Then our last one, I'm going to make some boxes on this one for us. So I have 48% of 60. I'm going to change this 48% to 50%. Most of you know that 50% of 60 is 30. But if it's not something that you can easily find, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to draw my bar. I have 0% on top and then 100%. I need to count something that I get to 50 and 100, so I'm going to count by 50s. So we have 50% on top. And I want to know what this will be if that gets 60. So I have 2 boxes. 60 divided by 2 is 30. So my answer right here is 30. So that's how I got H. Now on your test tomorrow, it's going to be pretty similar to this. I am adding a few extra things on here. So just make sure on your test tomorrow that you're taking your time, you're reading the directions, because if it asks you for a percent and you give a fraction, that will be wrong. So reading is going to be important. This will be an open note test, so make sure your binders are ready to go tomorrow with your notes in them.